All right, guys, so in this first video, I got to the creek. I got to a portion of the creek that I consider like the upper reaches of a stream, the headwaters. I rarely ever catch big fish out of this area. I typically catch like 6 to 9 inch fish, with the occasional like 12 to 14 inch fish being like the biggest fish that I would expect to be there. But in this scenario here, I went to a couple riffles that I know produce fish when nymphing, nymphed those, didn't catch any fish. Started to move upstream a little bit into more riffles, nymphed, didn't catch any fish. So I was like, you know what? I was like, it's probably still cold. It had been warm that day, about 51 degrees, but the water was still cold from winter temperatures the days before that, and the fish were just inactive. So I switched to a micro streamer and I was like, I'm just gonna go, I only have about 2 hours. I'm gonna cover as much water as I can as quickly as possible. So I started covering water, got a few takes that didn't amount to anything, didn't get any hookups. The fish were really slow. And I finally came up on a large, deep pool. Large, deep pool that was well off the beaten path. Now this stream that I'm talking about fishing, I'm not gonna give you the name of the stream, but it's like one of the most popular streams out there in my area, or really in Pennsylvania altogether, and possibly even the country. It's that popular of a stream. But this was like a section that was off the beaten path, not somewhere you'd really go because there's so many other places to go. And I got to a bend, and I could tell before I even got up to the water, this water was probably about chest high, and I'm 6'5". So before I even got in the water, I just planned my approach. I looked at where the water was coming down, and the deepest portion of that section right there, the little run that I thought that large fish might be sitting in, or any fish might be sitting at this point, down at the bottom trying to get cover from the cold. So rather than just tear up the water, I did a quick back cast, planned my first cast, and I'm a believer in the first cast is the best cast, especially when you're fishing streamers. Sometimes it's just like the only cast in my mind. But I did a water load. I back casted downstream, water loaded the fly, and just flung it up. And started to strip, expecting to maybe get a 9-inch fish, maybe get a 12-inch fish at best. And I saw a monster fish come down and swoop this fly and grab it. And I didn't even like really say much when it first got hooked, when I saw it come down and saw it grab this fly, because I was kind of like in disbelief at that point that there was a fish of that caliber in that section of stream. Now I know that well downstream there are fish of this caliber. What I believe was going on here in this situation is that fish probably only feeds at night, probably very elusive, probably stays up in the banks all summer long, all spring long, was out and about, ran up into those headwaters to do some spawning. After spawning was over, we really haven't had any significant rain. So I think that it went and kind of is holding in that deep pool, which some people might call a staging pool. They sit in a pool before they go up into the riffles to spawn, or they sit in the pool before they go back down to the deeper water post spawn. So that's what I think was going on there. And to even support that even more, when I lifted the fish up, you'll see it had a lot of loose skin on its belly, which shows me that it's either used to eating more and has been running around a lot, which would support it spawning, or it was full of milt and it just had gotten rid of its milt and all that extra weight and skin was still loose. But that's my theory on that fish, but it's a pretty important fish.
There he is. There he is. Seen him come for it. Who would have thought? Ah, yeah. Wow. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I had no clue that there were fish of this caliber up this far in the stream. Zero clue. Now, I was fishing a streamer in the deepest hole that I found, but wowee. Look at that. I mean, that is a big, big wild brownie. Get a good look at him here. Look at that fish. Wow. Where did he come from? That is an amazing fish. Took my micro streamer. I seen him swirl down and smack it. Right there in the corner of his mouth. I would have never guessed that I'd catch a fish like this in this caliber in this stream here today. Amazing. And this fish is definitely pushing 20 inches. Beautiful. Beautiful fish. All right, I think he's recuperated. Get him back in the water. Get an underwater release of him. Wow, what a monster.
So here in this second video, if you look close, I wasn't having a very good day of fishing. I was actually trying to target larger fish, but I ended up hooking a medium-sized fish, probably like a 10-12 inch fish. And when it dove, it kicked up and spooked what had to be over 2 foot or close to 2 foot fish. You'll see its shadow just move through the water in the video, and I'll slow it down for you guys.
Not a big one, but I'll take him. Looks like a rainbow. Ooh, there was a... Isn't the one I was looking for though. I'll take him. He's fighting good though, bro. Look.
Oh, that's a good fish.
Nah, it's a little fish. But he's just so heavy. He's hard. I mean, he's fighting hard. Feels heavy, but...
Wow.
He caught it in the side. Whatever, I'm counting him. He swiped at it at some point. Alright guys, got a little brownie in the net. He looks a little roughed up. Rough around the edges. He was fighting pretty rough too, man. He's already been bit, healed, bit again. Alright buddy, get big. Alright, Alan.